Now, I am not against women having whole phases, but the idea that every single woman needs to have one, I disagree with. And this is something that I have been battling people on for a while now, especially with me being kind of semi fresh out of a relationship situation, whatever. It's normalized nowadays for women to juggle multiple men and to have a roster. And I feel like that is being pushed more and more onto women. And I want to be very clear in saying that there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with having a roster. There's nothing wrong with multi dating. I'm not interested in trying to juggle multiple people or have casual intimacy with somebody. I'm very protective over my time, my space, my body. I miss being held. I miss holding hands. I do miss that a lot. It's not enough for me to just seek that from any and everybody. I just ask that people also respect my decisions and how I choose to navigate dating, because again, it's hard out here. It's rough out here. Everyone, it's Baby. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back in another video, and I am doing a reaction. I haven't done one of these in so long, but I want to discuss this video. So this is of course, a reaction slash commentary, and so we're going to watch this video from actually one of my favorite podcasts to watch, which is called the Lovers and Friends podcast by Shambudrium. She talks about a lot of like dating and relationship stuff, and I've learned a lot from watching her podcast for sure. And essentially she was having this conversation with her guest, and this clip had popped up on my feed where her guest stated that she believes that women should have a hoe phase. And this is something that I have wanted to talk about on my platform. Talked about it here and there on Twitter, but I really wanted to go into my overall thoughts because I feel like this is something that has been talked about a lot and that has been pushed a lot. And so I kind of wanted to show you guys the clip as well and then discuss it further. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. It is on her Instagram. I tried to see if it was on any other platforms, like I checked YouTube or TikTok. She only posted it to Instagram, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play this.
I feel like every woman should have a hoe phase, right? Because I've seen it where people who did not, and they dated seriously, got married young, and then somehow in their marriage, some years later, they're trying to figure out what they like. They realize that, oh, I always wanted to try that, but their husband does not, and that now they have kind of like a little bit of regrets. Yeah, I've seen that more often than not. So in my opinion, I think women should have a hoe phase, if just for a year, 6 months, however long you want to have it, a phase where you are just focused on you and what you want to do sexually, and not so much trying to have sex in return of love or a relationship. In our younger selves, we are doing things for a return. Like, we're doing this because I'm hoping that he'll love me. I'm hoping that he'll see me as the one and he'll one day try to put a ring on it. But whole phases for me is for you, and you're just doing things because you want to do them because I like it. I feel
Okay, so now that we have watched the clip, I want to get into a little bit of what she said. There's a couple things that I agree with and disagree with. I'm going to start with the main thing. Her saying that she believes that all women should have a whole phase. I highly disagree with this. Now, I am not against women having whole phases, but the idea that every single woman needs to have one, I disagree with. And this is something that I have been battling people on for a while now, especially with me being kind of semi fresh out of a relationship situation, whatever, and people wanting me to get back out there and pushing me to date multiple men or whatever. It's normalized nowadays for women to juggle multiple men and to have a roster. And I feel like that is being pushed more and more onto women. And I want to be very clear in saying that there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with having a roster. There's nothing wrong with multi-dating, because again, men do it all the time, and so I don't have an issue with women doing that. But I have different beliefs when it comes to dating and how I approach dating. In the same way I respect women who want to, date multiple people and, have a whole phase, I also would like for other women to respect the fact that I don't want to do that. And I feel like people don't. I feel like people don't respect the fact that I'm not someone that wants to juggle multiple men. I'm not someone that has these urges to see what's out there and to talk to as many men as possible. There are some women who want that and they desire that. And I think that if you have that in you, then yes, you should experience that and you should get that out. But that's just not me. I am very much so intentional about who I date and who I spend my time with. And I'm not interested in trying to juggle multiple people or have casual intimacy with somebody. I'm very protective over my time, my space, my body. That's not something that I'm just willing to give out to anybody. Now, like I said, if that's something that you want to do, cool. But I feel like because it's become normalized to do that, now when anyone says anything different, it's, oh, nope, you're doing things wrong. That's not what you should do. You need to, talk to multiple men. You need to have a whole phase. You need to have multiple. And it's like, I don't need to do anything. I need to do what is comfortable for me, and I need to do what is best for me and my standards. People have different standards for different things. And for me, especially when it comes to anything intimate, like I just don't believe in having casual intimacy with other men. Even in me talking about how I have been struggling a little bit with feeling not alone in the sense, even though in the romantic sense, kind of, but more so me being deprived of physical touch and intimacy. Those are things that I am struggling with at the moment, like a lot. I miss being held. I miss holding hands. I do miss that a lot. It's not enough for me to just seek that from any and everybody. And again, nowadays, people do that and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There are women who are like, oh, I would like to, or it's been a while since I've gotten some, let me hit up X, Y, and Z and let me find somebody. And that, that's all fine and well, but for me, I'm just not like that. I would rather just suffer for as long as I have to suffer if it means that I'm not giving that to someone who doesn't deserve it or someone that I have a casual fling with. I just don't, for myself, I am just not willing to do those things. And so for me, even like with the cuddling and stuff, right? I'm just the type of person where it's like, I'm not going to do that with someone unless I am in a relationship with them. And so I am literally saying that I probably won't cuddle another man or hold hands with another man or kiss another man until I am in another relationship. I don't know when that is going to be. And that is a part of my, like, I don't want to say fear because it's not really a fear anymore. But it's a part of my concern with me, trying to find another potential partner is that I don't know when that's going to happen for me. For some women, it happens more quickly than with others. And for me, sometimes I get worried that it's going to be another 10, 15 years until I get into another serious relationship. And if that happens, that would mean it's going to be another 10 to 15 years before I kiss another man or hold hands with someone else. And I know a lot of people are hearing that and going, oh, that's sad. Or, I think that the reaction that I get from other women is that, well, why would you suffer like that when you don't have to? Like, maybe if you would just, stop being a prude and, be more open, you could easily find someone that will do those things with you. But for me, I'm just not comfortable doing those things with a man if I don't have a level of commitment to them. Like, I just wouldn't, like, I don't like people touching me to begin with. And so the idea of engaging in intimate acts with a man that I don't have any type of like relationship with or commitment with, I would feel uncomfortable. I wouldn't even want to. Like, I would be turned off if he even like tried. And so for me, it's just like the idea that every single woman needs to have a whole phase, and if they don't, they're doing things wrong, or that's why they can't find somebody, or that's why they can't keep somebody because they haven't messed with a bunch of people. I think it's just very, very silly. Now, what I do agree with, and I think where where she was going with that, right, is saying that women need to take time for themselves to figure out what they want and to prioritize them and figure out what they want and what they enjoy. I agree with that, but I don't think that has to go one to one with having a whole phase. I think that you can still accomplish those things without having a whole phase. Because that's currently where I am right now. Like, I am currently in a space right now where I'm prioritizing myself and my happiness, and I'm living life for me, and I'm taking the time to step back and reevaluate relationships that I've been in and, going from there. But I don't feel like I need the attention, the company of another man to achieve that. Like, I just don't think that that's necessary. I think that you can still do the self work and the self growth without it having to come from multiple back to back situations with different people. Now, another thing that I did that was interesting that she said that caught my attention was she said that a lot of the times, like, I'm in my younger years, so I have nothing to compare it to, but she was saying that a lot of times younger women who get into relationships, a lot of times they'll do things and they'll engage in intimate acts in hopes of trying to get something in return or trying to get that person to love them. And I will admit that that is something that I have fallen victim to. There were a lot of times where I would do things or I would try to be like extra affectionate or whatever the case may be in order to be treated better or to be loved by that person. I felt like I was in this constant state of trying to earn this person's love because it wasn't just coming naturally. And so I was like, okay, maybe if I do X, Y, and Z, or if I put in extra effort here, maybe they'll finally start to treat me better. Maybe they'll finally start to accept me for me. And I think, again, that's where the self-growth and healing comes from. And I do think there is value in spending time to yourself and learning yourself, because you start to realize that you didn't deserve that. And once you start to really understand your worth and you're getting that from within and not from other people, you start to look at things differently, and you can look back on that situation and say, oh, I didn't deserve that, and I was worth way more than what I got or how I was treated by this person. I think you can achieve that on your own, and I think that's a part of the healing journey, is the discovery of self and taking time to learn yourself and love yourself and being able to take that with you into future relationships. And yes, sometimes you can see that through being with other people, right? Like, sometimes it takes for another partner, or not even another partner, sometimes it'll take for you to maybe go out on a date with a man and seeing how that man treats you on that date. And then you realize, oh, I was in a full-blown relationship with this person and I didn't even get that type of treatment in the whole time we were together. And sometimes it does take those experiences for you to realize that you weren't being treated how you should be treated, or you realize that your standards need to be a little bit higher. So I think there is value in both. I think there's value in taking time for yourself and being intentional about who you date. And in you being intentional with who you date, you, instead of spending all that time trying to find men to entertain, you instead spend that time focusing on you and spending time with you and nurturing other types of relationships like friendships and family and stuff like that. I think there's value in that. And there's also value in the women who decide, no, I'm gonna see what's out here. I'm gonna play the field. I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna see what's out there, and they can learn more about themselves and what they want through that as well. But I don't think there's a wrong way to go about it either. I think do whatever works best for you. And I don't necessarily think that this particular person in this interview was trying to force her beliefs. I think she just was saying how she felt based off of her experiences and the experience of those around her. But I just really wanted to touch on this topic because I see it talked about a lot on social media, and I know that I have seen a lot of women who feel very strongly like one way or the other. And I think at the end of the day, everyone is different and different things work for different people. And I think at the end of the day, you should just do what is best for you. But to say that, because I also wouldn't sit here and say, oh, all women need to be alone and not date and not entertain men. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying I'm not going to. But I would never shame someone for going the complete opposite direction. I have female friends who casually sleep with men or go on multiple dates. They go on dates just to get free meals. I would never do that, but I'm not going to shame someone or look down on someone for doing that, because they're doing what works best for them, and they're happy and they're enjoying life and they're doing them. For me, I just operate a little bit differently when it comes to dating and men and all of that. And so I just ask that people also respect my decisions and how I choose to navigate dating, cuz again, it's hard out here. It's rough out here. And there's no one size fits all to anything. And so I'm navigating things the best way I can. And maybe I'll wake up one day and decide differently, but I don't think so. I think at my core, like, I know what I want. And I have, again, certain standards for myself and my body. And that's just not something that I'm willing to bend on. And I just ask that other people respect that, you know? But again, no shade and no hate to the person that was in this video. I just wanted to speak to the broader topic of, women having a whole phase, because that's just something that has been a hot button topic on social media, especially on Twitter. And I just wanted to talk about it, because yeah, I just don't see, there's a lot of polarizing opinions on both sides, and I just think that both methods are equally as valuable. You just have to find what works best for you. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.